There's something that all of you need to know, and that's that I love my family. My family is amazing. You have my wife, you have my daughter who's 5-year-old, and my 3-year-old son. He just turned 3 today, his birthday. But there is another very important member of my family I'd like to introduce you to today, and that's Bunny. Can everyone say hi to Bunny? Hi. Hi, Bunny. Good to see you. My daughter's going to love that clip. This is my 5-year-old daughter's Bunny, and she absolutely loves this thing, all right? This is the thing that she runs to whenever she's sad or when she's scared or when she's excited, when she wants to dance, when she wants to cry. This is the first thing that she goes to. And honestly, her mom and I are very proud of that because we forced this on her as a child. We were like, you will like this, Bunny. You will love it. And she does. And so, naturally, we are pretty happy of that. We are pretty proud of that. But this Bunny has now seen some things. As you can tell, we're starting to lose a little bit of stuffing here. But she's seen some things. She's seen the first day of school. She's seen her first friendship. She's seen the first time that someone has said something mean to her and she's cried into it. She's seen the first skinned knee. This Bunny's seen the first time she bit through her lip. Man, this Bunny has seen so many different things. It's been covered in vomit, probably urine. It's been thrown across the house in anger. It's been dragged through meal after meal. This Bunny has gone through it, but it's still here kicking. And it's the thing that my daughter runs to every single night still before she goes to bed. And if she doesn't have it, if it's lost or it's misplaced or it's not near her or around her, she kind of just loses it. Like nothing in life makes sense anymore. She needs this thing. And so my wife, now we have to flip the entire house upside down in order to try and find this and restore some peace back to my daughter. Well, and when she gets it, she's all good. She can go to sleep. You see, this Bunny has become her comfort. This Bunny really has become like almost her whole world. And as we grow up, we grow out of stuffed animals, hopefully. But we don't grow out of needing something to run to. We just end up replacing the Bunny. I mean, for so many of us, our Bunny has become our bed, right? Like it's the thing that we run to at the end of the day when life doesn't make any sense and we just want to zone out, we just want to disconnect from the world. We run to the pillow and we just collapse on the bed and we fall asleep. And if I'm just asleep, then I don't have to deal with the world right now. I can escape it. And so we run here, we're comfortable here, and so we just nap and sleep and rest. Well, for others of us, man, our Bunny can look like our video games, right? Like whatever we're gonna play, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever it might be. And we start playing games and we're on the sticks and we're just playing and 1 hour turns to 2 hours, which turns to 3 hours and 4 hours, and you're like, it's 3 a.m. Like, how did I get here? What is happening right now? But you realize, man, you spent so much time here because if you're dealing with virtual reality, then you don't have to actually deal with your reality. And so you're comfortable here, and you stay there. Man, for so many of us, we run to our phone, right? Like the moment that we feel uncomfortable, the moment that somebody challenges us, somebody says that we're wrong, that we don't have the right opinion, we run to this thing. We're like, well, let me show you all of the reels that tell you how right I am, I'm exactly right, and everybody agrees with me, and we scroll, and we scroll, and we scroll, and we live in this space that's so comfortable because if I'm on my phone, nobody can disagree with me here. Man, and so many of us, we might run to a drink. And it's not necessarily about the drink itself, but it's about, for a moment, if I have this, then I can forget about all the feelings that are going on inside of me. I can forget all the decisions that I've made, the things that I've done, or what has happened to me. If I can just have one more of these, then I don't have to deal with what's going on in my life. And so we run to another comfort. Or for so many of us, we run to a relationship, to a person, to someone that says, hey, you're enough, you're valuable, you're loved. And only in that person do we feel those things, but we leave that relationship feeling so confused. Man, we run to all of these things for different levels of comfort in our lives, to ignore what is going on around us because we're not really sure what to do. But what if these things that we're running to for comfort were never actually designed to comfort you? I mean, think about it with me. So many of us, we run to our phones, right, to relax and to just get away for a second. But when we put down the phone, when we actually stop surfing it, when we stop being on it, we find ourselves more disconnected, more discouraged, more anxious, and more behind than when we started. Or man, when we run to that relationship for our comfort and we find ourselves and our identity in that person and what they have to say about us, we leave that relationship feeling more dependent on them, less confident in ourselves, and usually those are the kinds of relationships that end so poorly for us. Man, these are things that we run to and we rely on, and over time, they begin to feel untouchable in our lives. Like, God, you can have everything in my life, you just can't have those things over there. And as I say that, there's so many of us that we already know what that thing is. We know the thing that we're holding on to, the thing that we go back to for comfort time and time again. We know what it is, we just don't want to let it go. Because ultimately, we want both. We want our relationship with Jesus and we want control. We want his way as long as it aligns with our way. And even if you're not a follower of Jesus in here, you feel this same tension, don't you? Because what we're talking about tonight isn't just a church problem, it's actually just a people problem. We are so good at holding on to things that aren't good for us, that aren't leading us to the life that we want. The big idea tonight that we're going to be talking about is, what if what you're holding on to is actually what's holding you back? What if what you're holding on to is holding you back? In the middle of this tension, Jesus has an answer. We're going to look at that in Mark chapter 8 tonight. So if you have your Bibles, open them up. If you don't, you can follow along on the screen with me. This is what he says. Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples, and he said, "Hey, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it." See, Jesus is saying something completely upside down here. He's saying, lay down your life, your comforts, the things that you run to that aren't me, and when you do, you'll get to experience real life. And that's hard. I mean, that's hard to come to grips with. It's hard for us to wrap our minds around because we're unsure if we want to actually sacrifice the things that we feel in control of right now, even if they're hard for us. But here's the truth about growth, and I think we all know this. Growth lives on the other side of sacrifice. So how do we get there? What does that actually look like? Well, luckily for us, Jesus doesn't say, hey, just sacrifice something, figure it out, you'll be fine. No, he gives us 3 steps of what it could look like to move from comfort into life. And this is what he says. First, Jesus, in that scripture in Mark 8, he says, deny yourself. Not hate yourself, not ignore yourself, but surrender yourself to Jesus. Denying yourself means choosing what Jesus wants over what you might want in the moment, which is wildly different than everything we hear today. A lot of the things that we hear is like, hey, you do you. Do what feels good. Do whatever makes you feel happy or whatever feels best in the moment. Man, but we know something about growth. That anyone who's ever achieved anything important, if anyone that's ever achieved anything significant that mattered, they at one point in their life had someone look at them in the eyes and say, if you want this, then it's going to cost you. The greatest coaches who have coached the greatest players in the world didn't just let them practice for an hour a day and send them out of the gym. No, they put them through the work. They had to sacrifice their time, their energy, their effort, their schedules in order to achieve what they wanted to achieve. To get the championships, to get the records, they had to go through it. Any parent that has a kid that says like, yeah, I want to get into an Ivy League school, whatever that might be, sweet, awesome. Your C's aren't going to do it for you. Like, sorry. You're going to have to level it up. You're going to have to sacrifice something in order to get where you want to go. Any good trainer, physical trainer in the world isn't going to let an athlete or a person walk into the gym and be like, you did 2 minutes on the treadmill today. Honestly, just proud of you. Like, let's quit while we're ahead. You're good. You're going to get exactly what you want. No, they don't say that. They push, they encourage, and they challenge, not because they're trying to take something from you, but because they see something good for you. And it's in that moment that Jesus steps in and he speaks and he says, hey, deny yourself. Deny the things that your heart are saying are important to you. The things that your heart is saying like, hey, go and get that thing. Because what we know about our heart is that it often likes to lie to us, right? It likes to lead us in a direction that we don't even want to go. I've been told that there comes a time in every single girl's life where she walks into the bathroom and she looks in the mirror and she's like staring at herself. She's like, you know what? My heart's telling me it's time to go for some bangs. You know, like I think now is the time that I can do bangs and it's coming back, I promise, my heart feels it, it's gonna be good. And so you start pulling down the hair and it's like, dude, I saw it on TikTok, it's gonna work. And you cut it and you're like, what did I do? Like, what did I do here? This is not what I wanted. Now I have to wear a hat for an entire month to get over this. It's like, dude, your heart wasn't leading you anywhere good. For others of you, it's like, no, my heart is telling me to clap back. Like, don't let disrespect slide. Like, if they say it to you, everyone's gonna say it to you. You gotta stand up for yourself. You might as well puff out your chest and tell them what you think. And now you're in the middle of this massive mess when it all could have been avoided if you just took one big, deep breath. Our heart isn't always leading us to life. Our feelings change. What we want changes, and what feels right in the moment doesn't always lead to what's right in the long run. Man, if we follow our feelings, you'll run to whatever feels good right now, and you'll choose comfort over growth every single time. But when Jesus says, deny yourself, he's not trying to take something from you. He's trying to lead you to something better. So first, Jesus says, hey, if you want to move from comfort to life, you need to deny yourself. Secondly, he says to take up your cross. What I've learned in following Jesus is that every single time it's going to cost you something. There's a guy that I get to hang out with a lot. His name is Evan, and Evan grew up loving a couple different things. He loved sports. He loved playing all kinds of sports, and he loved Jesus. He grew up in the church. He got to know Jesus at a really young age and gave his life to him and was baptized, and there's a celebration there. And he also grew up playing a lot of different sports, jumping from one to the next, constantly being active. He loved both of them. And for so much of his life, those things were going the same direction together. They were never bumping into each other. There was never a conflict. They were just good. Well, as you know, as you get into high school, things get a little bit crazier. You start joining club teams and your schedules are a mess and everything is wild. And so Evan had to make a decision one day. He said, man, what is important to me is that I continue to follow Jesus as best as I can. And what I've committed to doing is serving in my church. You see, he started serving in our kids ministry, and now he serves as a coach in our junior high ministry. And so he knew that he needed to go, and before the season even started, have a conversation with his coach. And so he went to his coach and said, hey, coach, like I know we got tournaments on the weekends. I know that we have that's an expectation that will be there. But hey, I got church. And I'm going to serve there, and I'm going to be a part of that. That's something that I'm committing myself to. I want to grow in that. And so he had the conversation. Coach is like, yeah, whatever. But the time comes, and it's actually a Saturday, and he goes up to his coach. He's like, hey, coach, like, just a reminder, I'm going to serve this Saturday. I got to be back at my church. I'm leading some junior high dudes. And the coach is like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not care about this team? Like, do you not care about your playing time? You're going to lose your playing time. You're going to lose your starting spot. Don't you care about what I think? Dude, if you want to play anywhere, you're going to need to be at every single practice and every single game. You're never going to get to do what you want to do outside of high school after this. You have to be there. And so Evan's there, and he's sitting in this space. He's like, what do I do? See, Evan, he could have held on to that. But what he would have been holding on to could have potentially held him back from who he wanted to be. And so he said, nah, coach, I got to be there. And he sacrificed his playing time. He sacrificed his starting spot. And Jack, in the past year and a half, Jack has really grown in his relationship with Jesus. He's like making it real. He's following him the best that he can. And it's going great. But there came a time when Jack really needed to look around and look at the friend groups that he found himself in to decide, are these guys pushing me closer to Jesus or pulling me further away from him? And as he did that, he saw a couple different ones. He's like, this one's great, this one's kind of mid, but this one over here, man, every single time I hang out with them, every single time I'm with them, I'm turning into someone that I don't even want to be. someone that I'm not proud of, someone that is not where I'm trying to go. And so Jack had to make a decision. Do I just kind of manage those relationships in my life and hope that I can just get better and push through it? Or do I cut those relationships out entirely? And Jack made the hard choice. He said, I got to get rid of those relationships and move forward. You see, taking up your cross doesn't mean that your life is going to be slightly inconvenienced. Taking up your cross means that you're willing to allow parts of your life to die in order to follow him. Because when we do, the life that we get to have is so much greater. Man, Evan gave up playing time and Jack gave up his friends. Why? Because they realized that following Jesus was better than anything they ever could imagine. And they realized that maybe that if they held on to that it would ultimately hold them back. And so that's the question for you. What are you holding on to that's holding you back? Or is it some friendships that you're just clinging on to because we've been friends a long time? Do they need to go away? Is it something in your life that has taken center stage and pushed Jesus out to the sides that you need to get under control and move away? What is it? Identify it, name it, and surrender it. Jesus says, deny yourself, pick up your cross, and then finally he says, follow me. Not just believe in me, not just know about me, but follow me. When he says follow me, he's saying imitate me. Trust me enough that I'm gonna actually do what I tell you I'm gonna do. Because it's one thing to say that you believe in Jesus, it's another thing entirely to imitate him with your life. But the beauty about our relationship with Jesus is that he never asks us to do anything he hasn't already done himself. In Philippians chapter 2, it says this, who, Jesus, being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness and being found in appearance as a man. He humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. See, Jesus had everything. He had glory, comfort, power, praise. And he gave it all up for you, for me. See, when the moment came, Jesus didn't cling to comfort. He chose the cross. Because he knew how badly we were gonna need him. He knew that we were gonna continue to go back to things that were just gonna make us comfortable and were never actually gonna lead us to life. And now we have Jesus and he's over here and he's like, hey, I'm right here. Here I am. Everything that you're chasing after, dude, it's not going to work. Everything that you're running after, it might look good on the outside, but on the inside, if you break into it, it's hollow and it's gonna leave you empty. Yes, it might take away the pain for a moment. Yes, it might numb your mind for a minute, but it will be back. It will always come back because these things you're running to for comfort are designed to fail you. But if you choose me, if you just choose me, you'll get a life that's gonna be greater than you could ever imagine. It's not gonna be easier, but it's going to be better, I promise. All you have to do is choose me. So in those moments when your anxiety is rushing and there's a storm inside of your mind, I will be the one that speaks and says silence, and it'll calm. When you're running to everyone else for validation and for comfort, I will be the only one that you need. I will fill that gap. I will fill that hole. I will tell you you are loved. I will tell you you are mine, and you will believe it. You'll have hope, you'll have a future, a purpose, and an identity if you just choose me. But we walk over here, we heard what Jesus said, and we go back to these things and we pick them up. And we remember what it's like to control what's comfortable for us. We look back at Jesus. And we think, you know what? I can just choose him later. And we walk away. But students, hear this tonight. Later is the lie that will keep you stuck. Later is the lie that kept me stuck in high school. The bunny that I had, the place I found comfort in, was in everyone else's expectations of me and how I could meet them. When I was cheered by people, I was good. When people ignored me, I was terrible. I started making decisions based upon what people wanted from me, never actually asking who I wanted to be or the man I wanted to become. And it made me make decisions I regret and wish I didn't have to make today. But every single time I got that applause, every single time I got someone validating me, I was like, hey, I'm good. God, I'll choose you later. Let me just have this right now. This is kind of nice. It's comfortable. Students, later is the lie that keeps you stuck. You see, every single one of us came in here tonight with a bunny. Something that we run to. Something that we cling onto for comfort when life gets a little bit crazy. But what if the things that we run to for comfort were never actually designed to comfort you? What if what you're trying to hold on to is actually holding you back? Luckily, Jesus doesn't say, figure it all out right now. Good luck. But I do believe he's asking you one thing tonight. I think he's asking you, will you trust me enough to let go of that? That one thing. The thing that you haven't been able to get out of your mind since I started talking about this. Will you trust me enough to let go of that? Because at the end of the day, man, we don't lose our life by following Jesus. We find the life that we've actually been looking for. Let's pray. Father, thank you so much for your love. Thank you that in the midst of everything, that we can run to you and that you will be there for us. The things that are holding us back, the things that we go to for comfort, Lord, I pray that you identify those so that we can begin to hand those over to you, surrender those to you, so that we can find peace in you. And Father, you're so good and we love you. Praise in your name. Amen.